What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Chris and Tim podcast, episode number 29. We're moving on up there, Chris. And speaking of Chris, we have Chris here today. How you doing today, Chris?
I'm doing pretty well. How's it going?
Not too bad. Had a pretty decent week. We're growing again. We're up to over 1,270 subs, almost 1,280. So we're a little bit of growing to do again, which is fun. We got Hawk in the chat. What's up, Yuki? What's up, Hank? What's up, Roger? And company. Of course, Celeste was here earlier, and Asan, I saw a comment earlier. But thank you guys all for being here. Let's have a great show. And first off, Yuki's talking about Deshaun Watson and the FBI. I honestly don't know anything more of that situation. I'm not really following it as closely. Do you know anything about it?
Not really. Just that the FBI is now involved. So
I don't know. I mean, obviously, that's not a good thing for Deshaun. It's not like the FBI is going to come save him. So I hope that they figure things out, but we'll see. All right, well, let's go ahead and hop into the topics, right into them. And around the league, some things are going on. So before we talk Washington, we'll go ahead and go a little bit around the league to start. Jamal Adams, safety for the Seahawks, signs a nice big contract, highest paid safety in the league now, 4-year, $70 million extension. How do you like this deal there, Chris?
well deserved. They should have been got it done. He was threatening to what did he say? He said he's going to threaten to argue that he's a linebacker or whatever. And then right after he said that, they finally paid him. They should have. I mean, he deserved every dime they gave him. Every single dime. I don't know how many years he had left on this deal. Maybe one more. So maybe really this deal is really a 5-year deal, basically.
Yeah.
But
so they have him under contract for 5 more years, including this season coming up. And I like it, honestly. They're only paying him $5 million this year. They're paying him only $9 million next year. It's not until year 3 that they actually jump up to $18 million. And then after year 4, that's when he gets over 20, but you could theoretically cut him, like if, I guess, some catastrophic injury happened, and save $9 million off the cap. So you get $9 million back if that happened, and then you can get $17 million back the last year. So I think the contract is actually set up beautifully for the team. I think it's awesome that Jamal Adams got his money, that he well-deserved, as you said, one of the top-rated safeties in the league for a long time now, and well-deserved pay. And also, the cap situation for the Seahawks isn't as bad as some people may think. They still have $13 million this year, $37 million next year. They're not like one of the highest, but they already have their quarterback under contract, so they're actually not too shabby as long as they can keep Russell Wilson.
Until they got to pay DK next year.
DK is going to get a bag. There are a lot of people already consider him a top 10 wide receiver. I know you don't, but yeah, he's definitely going to get his money. We'll see how it goes. I actually agree with Hank. Got Deshaun in the 12th round of my fantasy draft. Might as well take a small chance. Absolutely. I mean, if he plays, he's a top 5 fantasy quarterback. So if you can get a top 5 fantasy quarterback in the 12th round, I love it. Good. I've been doing that in my mocks a lot of the times too. I haven't done any real drafts yet. I believe I'm in 4 leagues at least going into this year. So I haven't done any real drafts yet. I'm excited about them, but I've been doing some mocks, and that's one of my strategies as well. I'm giving my strats away. Anyway, all right, let's go ahead and keep it moving around the league. QBs, first-round QBs especially, shining all over the place. We're just going to go ahead and quickly go through them, starting with the number 1 overall pick. We got Trevor Lawrence. He played 2 series, went 6 for 9, 71 yards. How do you look there, Christopher?
Trevor Lawrence looks like a beast. He has a very, very live arm. He's deadly accurate. He needs some receivers. And Marvin Jones, and he ain't going to get the job done. I don't think Chark played in that game. I don't know. But they need some receivers over there. Outside of Chark, I don't see what else they got. I mean, Marvin Jones is a good 3. He ain't no real 2, but
I like Marvin Jones. I think he's a sneaky fantasy pick, too.
Trevor Lawrence looked like a beast. I mean, sidearm throws, pinpoint accuracy. Boy Wonder. That's going to be his nickname. He's Boy Wonder.
Trevor Lawrence. I call him Sunshine. Sunshine from the Remember the Titans, right? All right, moving on to pick number 2. Zach Wilson, same completion percentage, 6 for 9. He went 63 yards, no sacks. Trevor Lawrence had 2 sacks for 12 yards loss. And then, yeah, it's pretty much the same there for Zach Wilson. Played 2 series. How did he look?
Zach looked good. Pinpoint accuracy. He looked smooth. He looked comfortable. Obviously, look at the O-line he's playing behind. But he looked smooth. He looked comfortable. He looked like he was in command of the offense. He wasn't scared, and that's big because a lot of he wasn't. Yeah, I get to that, but he looked good. He looked like he ain't gonna be a bust.
Hey, that's good.
He
Yeah,
don't
that's
look like
good.
he's gonna be a bust.
He was my favorite quarterback coming out of this year, so I hope he does well.
He has a quick zip on the ball. Yeah, he looked good. He looked good.
Fair enough. All right, pick number 3, Trey Lance to the Niners. He had the big 80-yard bomb, but his completion percentage didn't really look too good after that. He went 5 for 14, 128 yards and a touchdown, and then he took 4 sacks for 31 yards playing with the second team. Trey Lance, I said he was going to need a year, and it seems like that first start kind of tells that tale. What'd you see on the highlight tape?
What I heard was 4 of the passes that he did throw were accurate. The players just dropped. So I can't really count those against them at all if they dropping passes. Then I heard the old line was acting crazy a couple times. Before I seen Trey Lance's as advertised. I mean, strong arm. I think they shouldn't wait to play him. Put him out there week 1. There's no need to wait. Y'all gonna play him during the season anyway. So throw him out there week 1.
Jimmy G went 3 for 3, 26 yards. The GOAT.
Jimmy G can sit on the bench. If I got Trey right there, throw him up in there, throwing the Debo, throwing the George, throwing the IU with Sermon as my running back. Yeah, just start Lance. Start him early, get his feet wet early. So later on, he ain't gotta get his feet wet later on and then have, making mistakes. He's as advertised. Boom or bust, he's definitely a boom at this point. I don't got to see him no more. He's a boom.
Well, we'll see how it continues. Let's talk about your favorite guy, the guy you really want to talk about, and it's your boy, Justin Fields, the 4th quarterback taken off the board at pick number 11, I believe, 10, one of those two. I think it was 11. 14 of 20, 142 yards, and a touchdown, but that's just through the air. He also had 5 carries, 33 yards with a 6.6 average, and ran one in for a touchdown. Playing with the 2s, Andy Dalton did play with the 1s, but the dude looked phenomenal from what I saw. What did you see out there on tape?
The best quarterback in the NFL draft. That's what I've seen. I've been saying it. I'm going to be right again. He's the best quarterback in that draft. He had the most poise out of everybody. When he was in there, if you watched the game, and even if you watch the highlights, he looked like he'd been in the league 5-10 years. Nothing fazed him. The dude is a smart. It's very rare that a young quarterback like that is just smart. If it wasn't downfield, you know what? I'm going to either run it or I'm going to dump it off to the running back. He's a smart. He's accurate, big arm, nothing fazed him. And when he moves around in the pocket, he makes you miss. And he still keeps his eyes downfield. He doesn't look to run unless he has to. And that's what you want. You don't really want him to do what Lamar Jackson do, running RPOs all day. No, he looks to make plays with his arm. He's deadly accurate. I think in the second quarter in the game, he struggled a little bit. But after the first quarter, he looked good. The second quarter of the game, he struggled a little bit. But in that back half, he lit it up.
There you go. Good deal.
The poise for me was amazing.
Roger Smith says Lance needs reps. Kyle will dream up something that will take a half a year to figure out. In this running game, he'll be fine. True. The running game is no joke in a Kyle Shanahan. I could see him totally being an RG3's rookie year. Like RG3 set the world on fire that year with Kyle Shanahan, Alfred Morris, and company. It was awesome to watch. So I could totally see that out of Lance if you start him. And look at this. Hank Hill predicts Fields will be a top 7 fantasy QB this year if he plays before week 3, calling it now. Good for and you could get Justin Fields at freaking round 14. I think he's going undrafted. So if you think that highly of him, forget taking a chance on Deshaun Watson. Take your chance on your boy Justin Fields. Fields will be who people want Lamar to be. Interesting. I think Lamar could be what people want Lamar to be. It's just a bad offense. If the Bears can get an O-line and Fields develops, the Bears could be a potential in the near future. True. I think the Bears actually look pretty darn decent as an entire team. That defense is still solid. I like their receivers as far as Allen Robinson. I like Cole Kmet at tight end, David Montgomery. I think the Bears actually could be a very tough out team going in throughout this year, especially if Justin Fields starts. The big problem is, are we seeing Andy Dalton for 4 or 5 weeks, or are we seeing Justin Fields out of the gate?
If y'all seen what I put in the chat, Andy Dalton said, you seen what Andy Dalton said? He said this is his time.
Andy Dalton's time?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Ooh, good for
him. He said Justin Fields gonna have a bright future, but this is his time.
Good. I like the confidence. All right, last quarterback is the guy we actually saw ourselves, Mac Jones.
The Mac man.
Yep, the Big Mac went 13 for 19, 87 yards. 1 sack he took, and he did have 2 carries, no yards. Didn't quite get the carry for a first down. He almost had it. But what'd you see over there from the Mac man?
Mac man, accurate. Seen accuracy. I seen the perfect system for him.
He went to the best
out of
spot.
all the quarterbacks, he landed in the absolute perfect place, right with Bill Belichick.
Mm-hmm.
So, pinpoint accuracy, he looked fine. He didn't look scared, shook. He didn't look like he would be a bust. I think John New didn't play that much, okay. Hunter Henry didn't play. Nelson Aguilar didn't play. Kendrick Bourne didn't play. So, I want to see him. I want him to see him with those guys with some real, some weapons around him. But with the weapons he had, he showed up. Yeah.
Fair enough. I thought he looked solid too, and I'm not a Mac man fan. You know that. I am not on the Mac train, but we'll see. We'll see. Nick Foles would surprise a lot of people. JK. Nick Foles to the Colts. That would be interesting. To replace Carson Wentz. That's hilarious. I like that, TT. All right, let's go ahead now, and enough about around the league. Let's hop into our Washington football team, and we're going to start with the whole name controversy came up again. And first and foremost, they are milking this thing. They are taking it for everything it's worth. They're feeding us these little videos. They're trying to monetize these things. They're trying to get everything they possibly can out of this name change. What do you think about that?
It's annoying. Because I got to wait for a whole year just to get the name.
Mm-hmm. Yep, for sure. I agree. And now we're apparently down to 3 names, even though I saw an image today that, they're down to, some other names or something. I don't know. Here's the 8 names I saw. Where it is? Right here. I'm seeing, so the 3 finalists were selected from this list of 8 candidates. Armada, sounds like a hotel. The Presidents. Nobody,
No.
That's not bringing anybody
not
together. Brigade, Red Hogs, Commanders, Red Wolves, Defenders, and the Washington football team. Out of those 3 names, what do you think the final 3 are?
Red Wolves is obviously a part of the final 3.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just a given.
Mm-hmm.
Armada, heck no.
Apparently it means Spanish flight, Spanish fleet of planes or something. I butchered that, but apparently it's something to do with the military is what Armada actually is.
I don't care about Armada. That sounds like a car. And that actually is a car.
It is a car, yep. and it is a hotel. There's a hotel in Ireland called the Armada Hotel. Yep.
That is horrible.
I was thinking the Ramada
What
Inn
else
when I
is
saw
on
it.
there? So we got Red Wolves on there. What else you got on there?
We got
The pre-
Presidents.
no.
No. Brigade.
Brigade?
Brigade. Brigade.
No, that sounds
Brigade.
horrible. No.
Red Hogs.
I can see that.
Commanders.
That's on there.
Defenders.
Uh, that could be.
The DC Defenders. They could go a whole different route without Washington, so they go a DC Defenders route. Kind of overtake the XFL team.
And what's the last one?
And then, of course, just staying with Washington football team.
They're not gonna stay with that. So I'll say Defenders, Red Wolves, and Commanders are 3.
Defenders, Red Wolves, and Commanders.
But if you're gonna be a Defenders, you're gonna have to have a defense for the rest of your life. We don't have. You better have a defense for the rest of your life.
Which presidents would they put if they named themselves the presidents? I think that we would probably start putting like foreign presidents. Like let's put the president of Ireland and Afghanistan, South Africa, and Australia as our number one, as our 1 through 4 president. No, I'm just kidding. There's no way we're the presidents. There's absolutely. They said that they were supposed to like bring people together, like bring the cities together and stuff like that. There's no way that they're happy. They're going to be happy with the presidents. There's no shot. Yeah, Washington Obamas or Washington Lincolns. Yeah, the Washington Washingtons.
No.
The Washington Washingtons.
No. But they can get Red Wolves, man.
Yeah, I think. You know what? I was thinking about this earlier. This is so wrong of them at this point. If it's not Red Wolves, this is so. If it wasn't, because they know this is a fan favorite, especially on like the Twitter community, especially like the younger crowd. They could have ended this a long time ago if it wasn't going to be Red Wolves. I feel like they should have eliminated it like they did Warriors. Like they eliminated Warriors to basically let the old heads, like the old crowd, get that out of their system. We're not going to be it. They should have done the same thing with Red Wolves if they weren't going to be the Red Wolves at this point. So if they were to drag this all the way out and at the last minute take away the fan favorite Red Wolves, I think that's just so wrong on so many levels. What do you think about that?
You're right. Everybody wants Red Wolves. Red Wolves. You can the brand. If Daniel Snyder care about money, make it the Red Wolves and see how much you get. Make it if you want money, make it the Red Wolves and just see just how much money you make off of that accessories and apparel, jerseys and all.
The white jerseys. I mean, if you didn't see those white jerseys and weren't immediately sold, I don't know what's wrong with you. I mean, those things were just so crisp, so pristine. They were so great. Like the color rush, the all white.
You know what? I think
it was beautiful.
Like the I just thought of an idea for the uniforms. Like you can put like a wolf within the numbers or something like that with the eyes on a. Oh my gosh, that would be tight. Like you could put like the face of the numbers are there, but like the eye, like you can shape it like the eyes of a wolf. And then the eye put it. Oh, they need to call me. I'll make the jerseys.
Yeah, I think. Well, some of those logos they were showing in that making the brand up on the big screen were like the worst version of Red Wolves you can imagine. Like it was like the most cartoonish, the worst designed things you've ever seen, and you're like, you're a multi-billion-dollar team, and this is the logos you come up with. Like the fan art on Twitter that's made for free is a million times better than anything that these people are coming up with, and it's so frustrating. Oh man, what's Roger Smith? Red Wolves. It is not that corny. It will be okay if you got used to WFT, then you can get used to Red Wolves. True. Yeah, the people that immediately hopped on the bandwagon of WFT, these are not the people you need to appease. These are not the people you need to appease because they're clearly the ones that are just going to hop on no matter what you say. Like it's just that's just how it is. So I 100% agree with you there, Roger. 100%. Your dog can be dressed as up. You're right. Thank you for bringing up my wife's favorite point. We could dress my dog up as a Red Wolf. That's she always wants me to bring that up, and every time I talk about it and I don't, she's upset with me. So thank you, expert, for saving me a scolding later at my house. Appreciate it. All right. Enough about the name. I think we all agree it should be Red Wolves, and at this point, it's got to be. Otherwise, they're wrong on so many levels. All right.
Commanders.
So the cuts down to 85 players were made this week. One of them pretty controversial. The other 4 seem to be obvious. It's not surprising at all. Like Lamar Miller. Maybe that one's a little bit of a iffy thing. I don't know. I'll come back to that one actually and see your thoughts. There's Chris Miller. Never heard of him. Still don't know who he is. Never even looked into him. Greg Stroman, the former 7th-round pick, is gone. And then Nick Gugamos. He didn't play at all in the preseason, so he got cut. But what do you think about the Lamar Miller cutting? You think that one was a little premature? Or should we cut somebody else, or should we? What do you think?
Bye. That's what I think. Goodbye. You wasn't. Listen, and the other dude, 38, he gonna get cut too. This ain't rocket science. After what Patterson did, I've been knew Patterson was gonna make the team. After what Patterson did, Lamar Miller can't do that, and it's that simple. Because Jared Patterson might be taking snaps from JD as far as carries.
I don't think so.
And in the run game, I think so.
I think JD earned all his stuff. All of his
He
stuff.
earned it, but Jared Patterson's a better runner than he is.
I don't know if I can even say JD is good. JD's legit.
I never said JD wasn't, but
I like Jarrett. I like Jarrett what he did.
He's not
what
the
he did
courier.
awesome.
He's not the ball courier.
Y'all should sign. You should sign Josh Rosen. I hate you, Yuki. I hate you. Somebody else said that. A Ravens fan said that. You should sign Josh Rosen. Stop. He stinks. Oh my gosh. But anyway, I agree. I mean, I was never a fan when we signed him. This didn't do anything for me the day that they said, "Oh, we're bringing in Lamar Miller." I was like, Lamar Miller was average in his prime. Like, when he was prime Lamar Miller, he was an average player for Houston and Miami. It's not like he was really that good anyway. So, let alone bringing in, like, a 30-year-old running back, he's not going to do anything for you. So, I'm actually completely fine. But the big controversial one is Kelvin Hartman. We don't have to spend too long. We did talk about this on Sunday. But there was one angle that I wanted to bring up again. And that is we have an 86th guy on the roster, actually, because David Bada is a part of the international player program, which allows us to not count him towards our 85 players. And so that we get to keep him as an 86 player. Two things coming out of that realization for me. One, if we get to keep an extra player, why didn't Kelvin Hartman make the team? And two, if David Bada doesn't count towards the 85, then why does Sammis Reyes count towards the 85? Do you have any guesses on that?
Nope. But I don't know why Kelvin Hartman's off his team. To me, he can be the second best receiver on the team easily. I don't understand why you would cut a guy who's practically, you can argue that he's your best pass catcher. One, he's your most reliable. Two, you drop him, but you keep a guy named Antonio Gandy Golden who can't catch, who does not know how to use his size to save his life, and you sitting up here telling me that he's had a good camp. But it does not translate to the field.
I mean, forget AGG. I can see if you want to keep AGG. He was a 4th-round pick. Isaiah Wright? Why? There was another guy. What crap? I can't even remember his name off the top of my head.
Troy Brown, I think his name is.
I mean, there's so many. Like, why is Hemingway?
DeAndre Carter.
Humphreys, Lamar, Jackson, De'Ami Brown. Jonathan Williams? Why is he here? Jonathan Williams? I don't like.
AGG, I don't want to hear that he's a 4th round. He needs to be cut effective immediately.
I'm just saying, like, there was other people to cut before both of them. Or Tony Brown, okay, is what the other people are saying. I don't even know who that is. Why is he here over a Kelvin Hartman? Like, why does that? That makes no sense. That a guy that's actually put production on the field in the regular season 2 years ago, why is he on the team why is he not on the team rather than cutting a Tony Brown or I mean, there's so many different dudes you could have gone in, so many different directions you could have gone, and instead we're sitting here looking at Kelvin Hartman gone. And I know some people are like, "Oh, Kelvin Hartman, he wasn't anything special. He's not going to make or break the team." You're right. He's probably one of the last ones to make the team if he even.
Well, I
made the team.
disagree.
I know you disagree, but I'm just saying, like, okay, cool. He's probably not going to make that much of a difference this year because Curtis is going to get a lot of playing time. Humphreys is going to get a lot of playing time. Terry's going to get a lot of playing time. Cam Sims is probably going to get a lot of playing time. Cool. But Kelvin Hartman shouldn't be your first one cut. Why is he the first one cut? It doesn't make any sense to me. But anyway, I'm off my soapbox. As I said, we don't have to talk about it too much. We went into it on Sunday. And then the same day that we cut Hartman, Curtis Samuel is now off the PUP list, and he was practicing on the side. Do you think we see him at all this week? Do you have any predictions on that?
No. We don't see him this week. But he didn't scrimmage. They said that he didn't scrimmage because it was raining or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't scrimmage. So I don't expect he's not playing the preseason. Let's just get that out. Because I don't think none of our starters are playing in the third game. So
I don't know if that's true. We can talk about that in a minute, but go ahead.
They shouldn't. But I don't want to see Curtis on the field. I see Curtis week 1. Week 1, Kirko, I want you in there. But I don't think we're going to see him. I don't see what's the point at this point anyway.
Honestly, I actually 100% agree. There really isn't any point to see a guy like Curtis Samuel. I don't think that's going to really ruin the chemistry between him and Ryan Fitzpatrick or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, I don't know. It was I agree. I don't think that it's that big of a deal. So I think we're going to see him week 1. We're not going to see him in the preseason. I 100% agree with you. All right. Let's hop into this Pats game a little bit. And I wanted to ask you, who was the biggest winners? And then we'll go into the losers. But first, let's say who is the biggest winners coming from the preseason game 1?
Jared Patterson.
Jared Patterson was a big winner. 100%.
Bingo.
Who?
Bingo.
Oh, okay. Why was he a winner?
Because he did what he was supposed to do. He did what he was supposed to do. He went in there and showed everybody why he is who he is. That's why. Torrey McIntyre. Definitely, for sure. And Sam Cosmi. Because for everybody to keep running their mouths about him, he showed up. He's still showing up in training camp. And I'm going to say Dax.
I agree with most of those. I did not have Benjamin St. Juste. I thought he looked okay. I don't think he did anything wrong. I don't think he did anything bad. It was just, I don't necessarily consider him really a big winner. The two that I have that you didn't have are, I think, Fitzpatrick.
One more, James Smith-Williams.
Okay, James Smith-Williams. All right, I liked him too. But I think Fitzmagic, or Fitzpatrick, whatever you want to call him, I think he was a big winner. Mainly because we'll get into, I think Taylor Heineke is not a winner at all in this one. I don't think he did enough to overtake the starting job, so I think that Ryan Fitzpatrick did enough to keep his job and almost solidify it, in my opinion. I made a video saying I think the QB controversy is over, so there's that. And then the other big winner I liked was actually John Bates. I think he clearly overtook Tamarick Hemingway. I think he should be our number 2 tight end now in this offense and on this team. And I think he's done enough he did enough in the game 1 that I think he earned his spot on the team as the number 2 tight end. And I think we'll see a lot of them throughout this year. I think he's a big winner.
I disagree. I think Ricky Seals-Jones is tight end too.
I don't think so. I think he's 3.
Ricky Seals-Jones. I don't think so. In the passing game, he showed up. Made everything that came his way, he caught. He had the best. Out of all the tight ends, he had the best game to me.
I think John Bates. Obviously, it's because he's a run blocker, and he's not going to beat anybody one-on-one. I say that in my film breakdown. But I do think that he did enough where he showed a lot in the block game. Where I think Ricky Seals-Jones didn't show as much in the block game. There was a couple of times that he got beat in the run game, and he actually wasn't even asked to run block that much.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, if you want receiving, you want Ricky Seals-Jones on there. If you want blocking, then you want Bates out there. But if you want receiving, Ricky Seals-Jones is the guy.
Yeah, but I think that Logan Thomas is your guy as receiving, so you're just gonna keep him out there when it's like a first down. But then when you are obvious running downs in the goal line or fourth down, bring in John Bates, and John Bates can run a quick out route or corner route if you need a couple of short yards, and that's all you need out of a tight end too. Is a guy that can block really well, and then when he's a zone beater, that's all you need. You don't need a guy that needs to be a Gronk and beat one on one, or a Jordan Reed, or a Gronk. I said Gronk twice, but you get the idea. George Kittle, Travis Kelsey, these kind of guys, Darren Waller, that just slice people up. You put them on an island. That's not John Bates whatsoever. But I think he does more than Ricky Seals-Jones. Because also, I was listening to somebody, and they had a good point. Ricky Seals-Jones didn't look like a world beater as a receiving tight end. It's not like he was amazing. He didn't catch. I know he was pass interference, but he didn't catch the touchdown. And then I went back and watched the sideline catch. He did get both feet down, and he did catch it, but he did drop it when he hit the ground. I don't know if that is still a rule, still a thing, but the ball technically moved after it hit the ground. So I don't know about that. But I think John Bates is number one. Number two, rather. The number one backup. All right, let's go ahead and hop into our Roger Smith says we could carry 4 tight ends. I don't know, man. That's tough because, like, I think they're going to try to carry 7 wide receivers because they want one of them to be the punt returner.
Well, in training camp, they had Patterson return the kicks.
True. If James Patterson can be the kick returner, that's interesting. I don't know. I don't know if we carry 4 tight ends, though. We might because maybe Sammis Reyes doesn't.
I want Sammis to make the team because he works so hard.
Yeah, he does have a concussion right now, which is unfortunate. Hopefully that he's going through the protocol. Hopefully he's ready for this week. I don't know what all the rules are and whatnot, but now Washington will carry 3 tight ends and 3 RBs. I think they carry. I think they're going to carry more wide receivers than people think. I think it's 4 running backs though, not 3. 6 wide receivers max. I don't know, maybe. Ricky Seals-Jones will never get a hot route assignment. His ability to run routes is terrible. He can't get separation.
Well, he was getting enough separation catching all those passes, so he's good enough.
I think that's probably a little harsh, but I do kind of agree with the sentiment that he's not some world beater as a receiving tight end. It's not like you can live with the lack of blocking like you could with Jordan Reed because he was that much of a threat as a receiving tight end. I don't get the same idea or same feeling from Ricky Seals-Jones when I watch him. I think John Bates is number 2.
I think Ricky Seals number 2.
I'll give him number 3 right now. Sammis Reyes 4, but we'll see if he can trend up. There was a couple of mental mistakes I wasn't really happy with, and there was also like a couple of lack of blocks. I know some people like to point out the great blocks that Reyes had, but there was one where he literally just like chicken winged a dude and never blocked. It was pretty pathetic. And there was a couple of lapses as well. So we'll see. We shall see. All right. Biggest losers of the game.
It's easy.
You want me to go through these ones this time?
You can go ahead.
All right. I got Hemingway, biggest loser. Terrible. I got Hopkins, terrible, biggest loser of the game. But apparently it didn't matter too much. I got Keith Ishmael. I kind of liked him. I thought he may have had a chance to make the team. Loser of this game. I got Derrick Forrest. Biggest loser of this game. He missed so many tackles, horrible angles. I don't know what. He had a penalty on special teams. Big loser on this game. And then the last one, it's not so much that he played horrible, but I think he was the big loser. Same thing of why I said Fitzpatrick was a winner. I think Heineke was the big loser because he didn't do enough to kind of keep this QB competition going. And then combine that with the practices, I think he is a loser. Is there anybody else that you thought I forgot?
I don't know yet. I'm thinking.
Okay.
But I know for sure at the top of my list, Derrick Forrest is a loser. He was the worst draft pick that we had in this year's draft by far. We needed a free safety, and they drafted him literally for special teams. He's horrible. Period in the story. So for all you Redskins fans who like Derrick Forrest, he's horrible, and he's always going to be horrible. He's a special teams player, and that is all he is. And he barely that because I didn't even see him on special teams. He's a loser. I'm going to say obviously Hemingway is definitely losing. He's Jeremy Sprinkle 2.0, worse than Jeremy Sprinkle. Horrible, terrible, terrible pass blocker and run, but horrible, horrible. Who else? Jimmy Moreland, awful. Don't get me started with Jimmy Moreland. Bobby McCain, horrible. Don't get me started with him. And I'm not even going to say his name because it's going to make me mad. So I'm going to pick somebody else. I'm going to go with. I'm gonna say Carter. To me,
DeAndre Carter.
I'm gonna say Carter.
I don't think he did enough to be a loser. I think he had a couple of nice returns. They were decent. Got up to like the 35-yard line.
I'm talking about he's a loser as far as like
a receiver.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, the whole point of him is to be that special teams guy. If it doesn't matter too much if he's a good receiver or not. Can he return punts? That's how he's going to make the team.
If that was the case, why was he in before Kelvo and everybody else?
True, he was in earlier, but I think that's probably just because they have him slated to make the team as a receiver.
I think Dax makes it personally. I think Dax makes the team.
I hope so, and I hope he is the whole thing.
Because
he's cutting the whole team. Wait a minute. Oh, that's funny. I like that. We talked about the Jamal Adams contract at the beginning, expert. Apparently, Greg Little was traded from the Panthers to the Dolphins. I thought that the Panthers already had problems with the tackle position. How are they able to trade away tackles?
Remember, they got Cam Irvin. They signed Cam Irvin, and then it's the other. I think it's another guy behind Cam Irvin that they already have. And then they got Brady Christian, whatever his last name is.
Yeah, Brady Christensen for BYU.
Yeah, they probably going to go ahead and throw him in.
Maybe. We'll see. What is Roger saying? Reyes is more of a physical blocker than Bates and Thomas, and I never played organized football till the other day. He will find a way on this team. Believe that. And I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for him.
He worked the hardest.
Like, my critiques of him are not... I'm basically what I'm doing is not... I'm not grading him on a curve, all right? I'm grading him on how I see it, all right? Because at the end of the day, that's how he's got to be graded, all right? He has 2 more games to improve, 2 more weeks of practice to improve, and I'm not under the assumption that he can't improve. But my thing is he has to improve, and that's where I'm coming from, okay? And I'm rooting for him. I hope he does, because I like him more than I like RSJ. All right, I like him more than Ricky Seals-Jones. I do. But he's actually got to do it on these fields against lower opponents, because he's going to be playing later in the game. He's got to actually do it before you can feel comfortable about bringing him as a third tight end and then actually playing him at a high rate or at all.
Yeah, well, I think when they all sit down, they're going to say, if Logan gets hurt, who is better equipped? And to me, Ricky Seals-Jones is better equipped
to start today. Yeah, like he's.
Yeah, you would have to go to Ricky Seals-Jones because he's got the experience. We know Bates is not a threat in the passing game. Teams are going to know that. They're going to know if Ricky Seals-Jones is a threat. So your tight end 2 would be Ricky Seals-Jones because he's the most ready. Now, and then maybe that may change as the season progresses if we kept Samus, but if Logan gets hurt, I think how they're going to look at it, if Logan gets hurt, who do we have that can give us at least some kind of more production from that position? Because I'm not just putting you in the game to block.
Well, I don't think Bates would just be a blocker. I don't think he's going to be a world beater, but he's a zone beater. All right, he's a zone beater. He could get behind the zone.
So Ricky Seals-Jones is too.
Yeah, but he's a way bigger blocker. Like a way better blocker than he is. I was really impressed with him as a blocker.
I don't think people will respect him. I really don't.
Well, it doesn't matter. You don't need to respect him. He's Terry, Curtis. We have JD out of the backfield, Gibson out of the backfield. We still have Humphreys in the slot. I mean, he's one of the lower on the totem pole when it comes to being needed to be a threat. He actually needs to be an afterthought. So then once he beats the zone in the middle and gets a 19-yard pass like he did on last Thursday, I still like him. But anyway, I actually you know how I felt on draft day. You know how hard I went on draft day on this pick. So I'm going against what I thought originally, but we'll see. Y'all should trade for Peyton Turner. Spoiled would love that. I like that. Right. But anyway, so that's just how I felt, Roger. I hope you understand where I was coming from. Would you guys trade a third-round pick and Taylor Heineke for Sam Ellinger? Because once again, Jarris suggested this.
Yes, I would do it in a heartbeat because it makes sense. Yes, I would do that in a heartbeat. You get to sit behind Fitzpatrick for a year. If Fitzpatrick mess up, you bring that boy right on. He come out there, he fights hard. That's what I want.
I would be pissed if we did that. You know why?
I wouldn't.
Because we could have had him for a 6th-round pick. Stop.
Well, maybe they'd take that. Maybe you can lowball them. I mean, if you can Taylor Heineke, all right, I'm giving you Taylor Heineke. We give you Heineke in a 5th.
Heineke in a 6th, and we'll do it. Deal's done. But even though, I don't even know. We'll see. Samus is not a lineman. I don't care if he's a better blocker. The tight end position is the biggest flex position on the field. You don't catch like Calvin Johnson and block like Trent. You got to do both. And that's fair. You do, like, to an extent, you do have to do both. But you don't have to be, as you said, you don't have to be great as both, okay? And also, there is situations, if you are that good at one or the other, you will play. All right? I mean, if you're Trent Williams at blocking or if you're Calvin Johnson at receiving, you will play. A la Jordan Reed. Jordan Reed was terrible blocker, but the dude could run a route and catch like nobody's business, right? Or I don't even think Darren Waller's a great catcher, but we'll see. We don't have a 5th-round pick. True, we traded it for the freaking cheese man. I forgot. Thank you, Unknown so much. True. If you're trading a 3rd round, may as well trade for Davis Mills. Ouch.
No, I'm trading for Sam. Sam has higher potential.
We're going to get into that, Red Wings, of who we're excited to see next game for sure. All right. Let's see. I think really the only answer to this, were there any bubble guys you believe solidified a spot on this team?
And I'm hoping Torrey McIntyre.
Oh, Torrey
I am
McIntyre. That's a good one.
hoping. I want Moreland out of here. I'm tired of him. He's been here for years. He's been horrible. I'm tired of Protect, and I'm tired of every other Redskin fan keep telling me that he's good. He's too small. He's not versatile. McIntyre, what we know, what we've seen from preseason, you can move him to the outside. And he can also play inside. Meaning, says he's our 4th corner. If, let's say, Will Jack get hurt, okay, I still can move Kendall to the slot, and I can move McIntyre out, or I can do it vice versa. I cannot move Jimmy Moreland outside, or he's going to get abused all day long. Torrey McIntyre gives you position flex. He's better than Moreland. He's a ball hawk. He's not afraid. Get Moreland out of here.
I agree somewhat as far as I believe Jimmy Moreland is too small. I do agree with that. I don't know if I'm ready to hop on the McIntyre train, or the McTire train, or however you say his name. I don't know if I'm ready to hop on that train yet. I mean, he did get beat deep. The ball was overthrown a little bit. That was fortunate in his case. I think he should have got called for PI on that touchdown throw. So I don't know. It's interesting to see how McIntyre continues to progress, but I do understand your sentiment of he probably is a better option than Jimmy Moreland just because of Jimmy Moreland's size. You know, physics matters.
And lack of ability to do anything else.
That we have to play Jimmy in the slot because Kendall is so good there. Well, we don't have to play Jimmy in the slot because Kendall is going to play in the slot because St. Juice is playing on the outside. Let's see. Didn't People's Corner play outside in college? Didn't the People's Corner? Oh, yeah, Jimmy Moreland. He did play corner. He did play outside in college at JMU, and he played well there. But the league's a different thing, all right? The league's a different thing. All right, before we move on to the Bengals game, any final thoughts over there about the Patriots game?
Nope.
Perfect. Good. Just how I like it. Let's keep moving. The Bengals are coming to town. First home game in a long time since the Giants game last year. And we're going to have fans in the stands. We'll see how they do with that. But will the first team offense, my first question is, will the first team offense actually score points this time against the Bengals?
for sure. I don't know who, but we finally scored a touchdown. See what we got on offense, and we're gonna be a-okay.
I, I'm. We should have scored 3 points, but our kicker missed, right? And there was a couple of just missteps that caused the drive to stall, which is kind of what happens when you are an offense that dinks and dunks down the field, right? The West Coast style offense that I don't know if we necessarily run on West Coast, but you get the idea. The idea of that we move the ball down the field methodically. But I don't think we score unless it's a big play. Unless we get some sort of play action, I actually don't think we're going to score yet. I think we still have some kinks to work out. We still have some mental lapses, and it's going to be okay. We're still going to look solid in some scenarios, but I don't think the first team scores a touchdown unless if it's a big play. I think it's going to be another field goal or two, and we'll go from there. And Joe Burrow should pray. I like that.
He's not playing.
Joe Burrow's not playing?
No.
Oh, interesting. All right, fair enough. That's good to know when we go later in the deal. How long will we see the starters? Are we only going to see two drives again? Or are we going to see them a little bit longer, a little bit shorter?
They'll give him the
first quarter?
I think they'll give him the whole first.
The whole first quarter? I hope so. I would like to see more. And in that case, obviously that increases our chances to score a touchdown. And maybe I would change my prediction on that.
Because I don't know why Gibby was in it with the second team to begin with, but I want to see. I don't want to see Cam Sims on that field. I want to see Diami in with the starters. See Diami in with the starters. Cam can roll with the second team and third team, whatever. He can do that. I want to see Diami in with the starters. I want to see how he looks.
I agree with. I can agree with that. I would love to see Diami in sooner rather than later. Especially if Curtis is going to miss again. Put him in there behind, like, as a replacement for Curtis. I think he deserves it. I think he has that skill set, and I would love to see him instead of Cam Sims. I'm not the biggest Cam Sims fan, you know that. But we'll see how it goes. Jesse Bates are in a contract extension talks. Ooh, good luck. Good luck, expert. My prediction is Cam Sims is... TT Stay Goated is saying that he's predicting Cam Sims has a big game. We'll see. Not this run game, Yuki. That's old organization. We'll see. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We have a good running game over here. Speaking of run game, they're trying to make Antonio Gibson into the next Chris McCaffrey, says Kyle Allen. What do you think about that, Chris?
What I've been telling all of you for as long as I can remember. He's Christian McCaffrey 2.0. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Now, I think Ron has learned that he doesn't have to run Gibson into the ground. Not saying that he ran Christian McCaffrey into the ground, because Christian McCaffrey was only hurt for 1 year, and that was last year. But I'm sure that he's learned from that and said, I got Patterson, I got JD. I can keep this boy fresh. And if I can get him out in the passing game, those linebackers drop back, makes the run game easier. Have Diami, have Curtis, eat underneath, means those safeties got to come down, and Terry eats all in the middle of the field deep. My boy Gibby going for 1,350 and 15 touchdowns this year.
Oh, I love it.
And 500 receiving yards.
I'm scooping it up in the second round of a lot of my fantasy drafts. I'm loving the idea of getting him in the second round for sure. Roger, fans in the stadium. I see now. So he's saying that's the old organization. Well, the problem with the D.C. area is it's so transient. We have fans from everywhere. I mean, somehow Jacksonville Jaguars, who can't even fill their own stadium, somehow have tons of fans in our stadium. It makes no sense. But we'll see. Hopefully you're right when it comes to the old organization to the new. I hope that we get some of the stuff out there. Gibson, Patterson, the 1-2 punch. I'm not. Everybody's now all of a sudden. Jared Patterson has a great game, and then everybody just throws J.D. McKissick to the wayside.
Why not throwing J.D.? J.D.'s the he's the pass catcher. He's not.
He looked great in Pittsburgh when Gibson went down. McKissick came in and looked great.
He had a couple of good runs, a few, but Jared Patterson is a better runner. That's what I'm saying. JD's most. I think we're going to run 2 running back sets anyway. So each of them going to be out there one way or the other. One may be there to pass block, or one may be there to. They both might just split out and have the linebackers come down so we can eat up. So yeah, I'm excited to see what we do because I don't think nobody can be
Well,
able to
don't
stop
forget
the
Curtis
ball.
Samuel in the backfield either.
And you split JD out wide, and then you split Gaby. I mean,
Well,
we
I
can
would
do so
say
much.
it's Terry, Diami, Logan Thomas, and then Curtis and AG in the backfield. I think that could be fun. JD's a third down back. I mean, I understand that, but I think he's a guy that can also run in between the tackles and do whatever you need him to do. All right, he's not as good as a Gibson by any stretch of the imagination, but I think he still could do a lot of different things, and I like JD for sure. JD is a tight end that also gets handoffs. What? JD? Okay, we're moving on from that. All right, so we're gonna see this. You think we're gonna see the starters for a quarter? Antonio Gibson, the next Chris McCaffrey. I like that. Who is the player that you are excited to see in Game 2? All right, who maybe disappointed you a little
Is
bit in
this
Game 1
really
that
a
you want to see?
question?
But
Is this really a question?
uh, who are we excited to see?
25, man.
You got to see more.
Yeah, I do because I want if Jamar Chase is playing, I want him over there.
Mm.
That's a test because they still got T Higgins, they still got Tyler Boyd, so everybody there's no slouches at the receiver position, so everybody gonna get, we gonna see. So, but let's get Ben over there on him. Let me see what he got over there because I still want to see how you do. Because I know Jamar Chase is going to be a good receiver. So that's a test right there at the end of itself. So I want to see that. So he's the biggest one because they really didn't throw to his side at all other than that one play. So I want to see, okay, Jamar Chase over there. Now what you going to do? That's what I want.
The one thing I noticed about Benjamin St-Juste is he was definitely a true corner when it came into not really being interested in getting in there to tackle. Not that he completely avoided tackles, but he wasn't interested in getting in a pile either. I thought that was funny. But I don't think that makes or break you as a corner. I don't think oh my God, his name just went out of my head. Doesn't matter. Whatever. Deion Sanders. Good Jesus Louise. Deion Sanders. I don't think he was necessarily a guy that came up and tackled everywhere. He was just a shutdown guy.
I want to see Landon too. Because he flew underneath the radar, of course. Yeah. But and on offense, I want to see Diami because I just didn't see enough. I mean, what do you call it? 2 passes, slants. That's just not good enough. Not saying that was his fault because it wasn't. But I need to see more Diami, especially if he's going to be out third. And most of the time it's out 2. So
Taylor Heineke missed him deep, and then
because if he reels, he probably go for a touchdown. If he reels that in.
True. I would like to see these two get better. I agree. AGG and Derrick Forrest, I don't think they are, but I would love to see them get better. We'll see how that goes. We used to call them scat backs, scat in the day, not between the tackles. Yeah, that's how JD's used, but I think he could be used in much more ways than people give him credit for. Anyway, who am I excited to see or interested in seeing? After the performance from Taylor and the practices from Taylor, I want to see now, instead of Taylor fighting for the starting job, is Taylor going to have some competition with Kyle Allen as the backup quarterback if Kyle Allen comes out and has a good day? I'm interested to see how Kyle Allen plays this game. Kyle Allen obviously played well as a backup in Carolina when Cam Newton went down. He's obviously a guy that Scott Turner and Ron Rivera likes. So I'm interested to see what kind of production we see out of Kyle Allen coming back off of the injury. That's one. And then defensively, I need to see more out of Jamin Davis. I want to see a guy that's getting in there and beating the run game, trying to fill some gaps. And I think he played way too much of overthinking it, way too much let the plays come to me. I want to see more out of Jamin Davis because I'm interested in him. I think he could actually be decent. And then who else?
I think
is there anybody else?
Top 5.
Maybe. Is there anybody else that I'm? Oh, and then the last one I'm going to say is Dustin Hopkins needs to make a big kick this game. All right, I need to see a 50-plus yarder right down the middle to even get it close to the good graces, okay? Or close to graces, or whatever you would say. Because right now, I am done with DeAndre Hopkins. No, sorry, not DeAndre. Dustin Hopkins. I am done with Dustin Hopkins, all right? I'm so irritated with him over these years, and then he missed 2 field goals last week. I don't want to hear, oh, it's a whole new situation, blah, blah, blah. It's the same holder. Tressway is the same holder, so that means he's going to be putting it down in the same spot. What do you care about the snap? The snap looked good on the first one. I didn't actually go back and watch the second one. But the first field goal, the snap looked good. I didn't see anything wrong with the snap. The timing seemed there, and it looked like he just pulled it left. And that's on him. So I want to see him make a long field goal this game. He better not miss a single field goal, and I hope he gets like 4 opportunities. I hope we don't score touchdowns, so he just gets a bunch of field goal opportunities, and he knocks all 4 of them right down the middle. No questions. I don't want to see none of them near the side or near the post. I don't want to see him hit the post and it goes in. No, right down the middle. Let's make some field goals. That's who I'm interested in game 2. So those 3 guys, Jamin Davis, Kyle Allen, and Dustin Hopkins. There it is for me. All right. Player on the bubble with the most to lose. Who's the guy that you think is on the bubble that could go either way with the most to lose tonight?
AGG.
Or the other night? Oh, AGG. I like that.
Yeah, the most to lose.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're not good. And the fact that they cut Kelbo and not you. He has he has the most to lose. And you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. Leno, him, and Lucas. They better show up these next 2 if they plan on playing the starters. Leno better or Lucas taking that job. He gonna be the backup. He gonna be out of here next year. So that left tackle position, that left tackle battle, the right tackle battle, Sam Cosmi pretty much locked that up. But the left side, left guard, and left tackle, I'm watching that because we'll see.
I like that, and actually, I saw a couple of blocks missed, from Eric Flowers. So yeah, the left guard spot. I think Eric Flowers has a lot to lose this game. Wes Switzer, I think, looked fine. So he looked fine last year. So Eric Flowers, we'll see how he produces. Want to see Jared Patterson's pass protection. If he does this and is adequate at it or is outstanding, he makes the team with ease. I think he already makes the team. I think he kind of solidified. Yeah. Because the lack of depth at that position. I think we keep 4 backs, and I think he's the obvious one. Steven Sims is a good one. I think he does have a lot to lose. He needs to show something, especially in the return game. That's true, too, maybe. But, yeah, he's got a lot to lose. I like that one, too. Let's see. Who else has a lot to lose in this game? Oh, is there anybody? Hemingway. He
already lost.
He was second string. He was second string on the depth chart. I mean, I'm going to say they have a little bit of leeway with him, and if he comes back and has a good game, we'll see. But I don't know. As you said, I think he was a big loser, but if he all of a sudden has another bad game, he could go from second string to off the team in the next round of cuts that quick. He didn't even make it to the last round of cuts if he has another bad game. I think he has a lot to lose.
Bobby McCain.
Ooh, Bobby McCain. I don't think so. I don't think he has a lot to lose.
He looked horrible. He Swave Run 21. I know y'all know who that is. He over here putting, I'll start him free. He's not starting. He's horrible at free safety. And I don't know why Street Scores, that's that rangy safety. No, he's not rangy. He's terrible. From what I see in the preseason, he was up against 2s and 3s and did nothing. No, sir. And I'm watching you again this preseason game. And if he's terrible, I bet I see him on the field. I better see Shays out there.
All right. Somebody had strong opinions. Ooh, John Bostic. But I don't think he has anything to lose. I really don't. I don't think he.
I wish he did. I wish he did. I want to see Kalik out there.
That's hilarious. I wish he did. Yeah, I don't think he has anything to lose, to be honest. I think he could absolutely stink, and he still would be fine. He'll still make this team.
He already did stink.
He missed that tackle. Dax Milne's an interesting one.
I think Dax makes it.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a chance he does. He's still on the bubble. But I just think he needs to keep being just a consistent wide receiver. I don't think he has to do anything fantastic. He just got to be consistent.
No,
Just don't completely flop. Is
he gets
basically his
open.
thing.
The passes that he did catch, he came his way. He got open. DeAndre Carter can't run routes. Steven Sims can't run routes. He has better hands. They trying him at
Wait, Steve Sims can make routes.
He
He
can't
can
run
run
routes.
routes. Oh yes, he
No,
can.
no, he can't.
That's all he can do. He can't catch.
No,
That's
no,
his
no,
problem.
no, he can't run routes.
We'll
Just
see.
because you run a route and then you cut fast and get open, that's not running the route. He is too small to me, and I don't trust him. He probably, okay, let me make the team. Then when real games come along, he dropped the ball. No, I don't bring. Dax can catch. Dax gets open. That's all we need. Somebody who can catch and get open and figure it out after that. That's what I want. I believe that Dax, he can catch the ball and get open. We don't need what we did last year when we was playing against the Steelers and you got Steven Sims dropping passes across the middle wide open. No, I'm just not going through that this year. No, why go through something? If you trying to build, why go through the same thing every year? He did the same thing. You've seen enough.
Oh, DeShazer Everett, maybe. I don't know. I think he's going to make it. I think he's going to be one of the guys that is a staple on our special teams. He's been there for years, and I think he continues to do that. All right. Last thing before we get into a score prediction, all right? Is there anyone on the Bengals you're kind of interested / excited to watch during this game? Are you interested in anybody over there for Cincinnati?
Is Thaddeus Moore still on the roster?
Uh-huh.
Well, him. Thaddeus
Good
Moore and
old
Chase.
Thaddeus. Chase.
That's pretty much it. I don't really care about their defense. I know
I'm interested in Joseph Asai. I'm curious what.
Oh, they got you to the side?
Yeah, they drafted
I
him in
didn't
the
know
second, I believe. So I'd be
I didn't know
curious
that.
to see how he plays this game. And then the other one I'm curious to see is Jackson Carman out of Clemson, the tackle. He's a guy that I kind of looked at. So for us potentially, and they actually moved him inside to guard. So I'm interested in how he performs as a guard. DMV Sports Zone. What up? Jarris better not spew any crazy takes. Nothing is ever crazy about Jarris.
It's not.
That's a
None
you
of my
problem.
takes are crazy.
That's a you problem.
If you knew me long enough, Nada, you would know that last year I was 65 to 70% right. Since the season has ended, I'm down to 55%. At least I'm being honest. It's 55-45. But once this season starts back, I'm going back up. But last season, my takes was so crazy. Asked him, he was like, I hope you're right, and I'm wrong. And I was right. My takes are not crazy. I'm telling you. You just wait and see. You just watch.
I'm waiting for the Chris to kick in that becomes a homer again. Right now, I think he's still like hasn't hit that yet. Where it's like we're the best at everything. We're so great. Like when he made that thing. What'd you say we're gonna go 15-2 this season and win the Super Bowl or something like that? I'm excited of that. Maybe that'll happen week 1 where we become the homer.
Like I
Chris.
say, bro. Like I say. Our only problem is turnovers. If we don't turn the ball over, then I don't think nobody beats us.
You see the comment? 35% of the time, Jarris is 100% right. Oh, I love it. I love it. Oh, that's so good. I want to see Mike Hilton for the Bengals if he plays some. Mike Hilton. I don't know that name at all.
He's a cornerback for the Bengals.
Oh, there he is. Second string. Fair enough. That's the winner. Can I pin this or something? I don't know. That I love that comment. That's awesome. 35% of the time, Jarris is 100% right. Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. All right, last thing on the topics, Chris. What is your score prediction for the Washington football team versus the Cincinnati Bengals?
You know what? The Cincinnati Bengals backups are weak, and our backups are strong, outside of Steven Sims and DeAndre Carter. So I'm going to say we go get 17-10.
17-10?
17-10.
17-10. I'm gonna go a weird score. I think it's gonna be something like 19-15 final score for this game. It's gonna be ugly because that's what Cincinnati or that not Cincinnati. That's what
But I'm
preseason
not
games
my
do.
boy. James Smith-Williams going to get him a couple sacks.
TT Goda says 12-9 us.
12-9, oh no.
21-6. Roger says
Yeah, well, DMV
9-8
Sports
record
Zone.
this year. That's my prediction.
If we get a 9-8 record, somebody needs to be fired. If I see a 9-8 record, someone needs to be fired.
Yeah, his name is Ryan Fitzpatrick.
No, it's not Ryan Fitzpatrick. It's either Jack Del Rio. I'm not gonna say Ron Rivera because he doesn't call any plays. He literally just let Scott Turner or someone in the front office needs to go because that's unacceptable. Because we're not just 2 games better with everybody you added. No, that's unacceptable. I'm not taking that. I'll take 10-7. I say this to Yuki. I will take whoever I was talking to. I will take 10-7 because I believe Dustin Hopkins is going to cost us 2 to 3 games anyway. So I'm cool with that. But anything less than 11-6, I'm not. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it, Ron. I don't want to hear it. That's a failure of a season to me.
Fair enough. We'll see. DMV apparently predicted the 7-9 last year. Well, good for you because we brought that back for you because we weren't looking at 7-9 at one point. That was terrible. When we lost the second time against the Giants, I wanted to.
Well, but you could easily argue we could have went what 9-7, 10-6 if we had a quarterback. We should have beat the Giants both times.
We should have beat the Lions. We should have beat the Giants twice. I mean, there's
the Browns. We could have won, but
right
Haskins messed that up.
The Browns would have been a little bit tougher to beat, but I mean, maybe depending on what we would have had to have had a pretty good quarterback. Like I don't think Alex Smith would have beat the Bengals.
We was right. We was only a touchdown behind them, 6 points.
Yeah, but then our defense just got beat down by that nasty run game. They crushed us in the second half of the run game. But I definitely agree with the Giants. Both games, Lions, for sure. We beat the Bengals. We should have beat the Seahawks and the Panthers. Should have beat both of those teams.
Oh, dude, they cheated us against the Panthers. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's like what? That's 11-6, 11-5.
We could
11-5.
Should have, could have, would have. That's
on,
true,
man.
Noddy. That's true. True. High expectations. This is where we are. But still building. Only year 2. That's how I feel. We don't have a quarterback. We don't have a quarterback, and maybe.
Okay, Tim. That's the only thing you pointing to, right?
What's the most important position?
Hold on, no. I'm asking you.
What's that?
That's the only thing we need, right?
If you put a top 15 quarterback, we're a contender.
That's the only thing we need, right?
I agree.
So I don't want to hear nothing about it's only year 2. And I don't want to hear about, we're building. The team is built. These players' contracts are coming up. I do not want to hear these excuses. I don't. For Ron Rivera and company. I do not. That's my point. Obviously, we need a quarterback. That is clear. In my eyes, and I think maybe in yours, we're going to draft one next year. Because there's no options out there. So, if we need a quarterback, that's the last piece of the puzzle. My whole thing is this. This year, we need a bridge quarterback. Ryan Fitzpatrick is perfect for that. You simply run the football and play defense. And tell Ryan Fitzpatrick make 1 or 2 throws. That is it. That's how good our defense is. That is it. I don't want to see a step back. A step back is not making the playoffs. I don't want to be in a wild card game. That's a step back to me. No, I'm not. That's unacceptable.
I like this. We don't need a functioning steering wheel. We got everything in the car ready to go. That's a solid analogy there, Nati. Solid analogy. But no, I mean, quarterback's the most important position on the field. I will say, I guess, there's a couple of still things I'm a little bit worried about. We'll see what the linebacker brings. Jamin has got to improve. But I like our receivers. I like our running backs. Our tight end room is solid, not great, but solid. Our offensive line, I think, is solid. Defensive line is stacked. And then our secondary, we just need a free safety. So there's like a couple of things, but I think those things could be overlooked if you had a guy like Aaron Rodgers, if you had a guy like a Deshaun Watson, if we had a guy of that caliber, those kind of things would be not completely, but you could kind of hide those things under the rug. But the thing is that the rest of our team is going to need to be perfect to carry Ryan Fitzpatrick to a great season. Not impossible. And it's also not impossible that Ryan Fitzpatrick has a good season.
Why does he have
but
to
I don't
perfect?
bank on that.
That's my point.
What's that?
You're not asking him to do anything. You're not. How many teams have we seen make the playoffs, running the football and playing defense? The Ravens do it every year. And we have a better defense than theirs. And we have a better offense than theirs. So this is not rocket science to me. The only problem that I always say is the turnovers. If you can keep Fitzpatrick out of harm's way by simply telling this guy whether he listens or not, that's a story for another day. If it's not there, give it to your running back and let them do the rest. It's fairly simple and play defense. This is not rocket science. It's not.
What does the Ravens have?
I don't know. Outside of defense,
they have a quarterback.
And
Lamar Jackson is phenomenal.
What does he do?
He crushes it with his legs.
They run the football, right? They run the football, right?
Well, he runs the football. He runs it.
They run the football, control time, possession, and play defense. Why can't we do the same thing?
Well, that's what we're going to have to do. But at the same time, the point is that Ryan Fitzpatrick, are you going to go crazy on me and throw 17 interceptions?
And I'm with you. That's why I said turnovers are the problem. That's the only problem that I see is the turnovers.
Well, he's also got to actually produce at the same. Like, he's got to score. I would say at least 25 touchdowns. If he could do 25 touchdowns and limit those interceptions, right. If he does 25 touchdowns and somehow stays under 10 interceptions, 10-6, 11-5, completely reasonable, or whatever it is.
And that's what I'm 7, saying. And with what Kyle Allen said, with they're trying to use Antonio Gibson as Christian McCaffrey. That means you're running your offense through Gibson, and that's what we need to do in order to do what you're saying. That keeps the ball out of Fitzpatrick's hands. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying, and that moves the linebackers up because now you got to run a game. Now I'm going to pass the football, and I'm going to get those linebackers to move back. Now you're all scrambling around. Now Logan, everybody, this offense is fairly. Two running backs says you can do everything with this offense. You still got Curtis back there. You don't know. That's what I'm saying. It's easy money. You don't have to. Fitzpatrick doesn't have to do everything and try to make every throw. If the throw's not there, throw it to the back that can get you a first down or take it 20, 40, 60 yards down the field. It's not rocket science. It's really not to me.
Being used as CMC is not the same as being CMC. Fans need to realize this. I mean, to an extent, I see your point, but I do think that Antonio Gibson can be that good. Where, like, maybe not that good, maybe not literally one of the best, but if he's like, if
I can argue he had a better rookie year.
Well, probably, but let's say if CMC is 100%, all I need is 85%, and I got a guy that's unbelievable. Like, if I can get Gibson at 85% of CMC, like, that's phenomenal stuff, right? And then we use him the same way. That's through.
And you can get more production from him because he's going to be more durable because you're not using him as much.
Well, then you're not going to get as much production because you're going to use him more. And
no, I'm saying more in a run game rather than a pass game.
I think he's good. I think he could be used and used effectively. I can agree with that. I love CMC. And I love Antonio Gibson. As I said, I think Antonio Gibson's worth a second-round pick in fantasy. I think he's going to be a killer this year. I love him. I agree. Remember the Gibson-Kamara take from me. I'm just saying even Kamara is not CMC. Okay, all right. I mean, that's fine. Yes, he's used as CMC. Maybe he's not all the way CMC, but I don't care. I don't need all the way CMC to actually be a legit run game.
You're saying that,
and as long as we agree with that, we're good.
You're saying that because you're seeing what Christian McCaffrey do because of the offenses ran through him. If Antonio Gibson got the same opportunities as McCaffrey, he would do the same thing. I don't get it. I don't. He would do the same exact thing. It wouldn't be anything different.
I think CMC is more talented than Gibson, to be honest.
I disagree.
I think CMC is just
At,
through the roof.
at what?
At everything. He's a better route runner. He can catch the ball better.
I wouldn't say he's a better route runner. He didn't play.
I would.
I wouldn't. Gibson's the one who played receiver in college, not McCaffrey.
Yeah, but McCaffrey still is a phenomenal
So,
route runner.
You can correct me if I'm wrong. I think Gibson had more rushing yards than McCaffrey did in his rookie year. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't know what CMC's stats were his rookie year.
Yeah, but if he did, I think if I remember, if I'm correct, and I believe everyone would say McCaffrey should be a better runner of the football than Antonio Gibson. I believe that. Yeah, am I right or wrong?
Yeah, rushing wise, CMC only had 435 rushing yards, but he had 651 receiving yards. Then he went for 1,100 rushing yards, 867 receiving yards, and then 2 years ago, before he got hurt last year, he had 1,387 rushing yards, 1,005 receiving yards, with a total of 19 touchdowns.
How many touchdowns did he have his rookie year?
How many touchdowns his rookie year? He had 7.
Total?
5 receiving, 2 rushing, yeah.
And Gibby had what?
11.
Okay.
At least.
So,
But maybe some receiving. I don't know what he had receiving.
So this is not rocket science. I'm not crazy.
But I don't even think Christian McCaffrey, his first year, was he like actually the only running back there?
He has a higher trajectory than McCaffrey does. So I mean, But
Antonio Gibson was the only running back last year.
And what was McCaffrey?
Year,
because JD had how many receptions? 80? Didn't he have like 80 receptions?
Yeah, but he had a bunch of receptions, but also a lot of those came when Gibson got hurt. But when Gibson was in, he was the only true running back.
I don't think
Barber came in on like 3rd and 2s or 4th and 1s or whatever.
So was McCaffrey. He was the only true running back.
I don't know. I'm looking it up now. I forget. But anyway, go ahead.
And Gibson had 11 touchdowns in how many weeks?
11.
Like, come on, bro. That means he was on pace for what, like 18?
16.
Yeah, 16.
It was awesome. Bro. What he did last year was phenomenal. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. 2017.
Yes, I can, Noddy. I can say that. If he had the same opportunities, he would do so. When McCaffrey is your whole entire offense and you don't have no tight ends or receivers, really, it makes sense. It makes sense for you to keep throwing the ball to him if you're on your offense to him. It makes sense.
Yeah, Jonathan Stewart was there. CMC's rookie year.
Decline.
Well, he still was used 98 rushing attempts compared to Christian McCaffrey's 117.
They've lost their mind then. Jonathan Stewart was washed by that time.
I mean, the stats agree. Like, he only averaged 3.4 yards a carry. But I'm just saying, like, and then also, not only that, Cam Newton, I'm sure, ran an unbelievable amount. Like, took a lot of carries from him that year as well.
Exactly. So I can argue Cam helped CMC. Who we had? Haskins. He ain't running nowhere.
He didn't run
He ain't running nowhere.
No, he didn't run anywhere. But at the same time, rookie year, he had 80 catches, 651 yards, and 5 touchdowns as a second-string running back.
No, I wouldn't say he was second string. I think he was starting.
He was used a lot less.
They just probably gave Jonathan Stewart the boatload of the curries.
It says they started the same amount of games. They both started 10 games.
Oh, that's weird.
And clearly Jonathan Stewart was used on more running downs because 198 carries.
Never said Gibson was the best running back in the NFL.
Well, if you're saying that he could be CMC, then you are.
Yeah, I am saying he can be that. And it's nothing that you can tell me that show that you can say that otherwise. He can. He's just as talented.
Dude, saying Antonio Gibson is not CMC is not an insult to Gibson. CMC is the best in the league, arguably.
That's fine. But y'all
I
arguing that he's not that now. I'm not arguing that. I'm saying that he can be that. Obviously, it's just his second year. I'm arguing that he can be just as good, if not better, than CMC.
I don't think so, because I think that CMC is just as good of a runner, but a better pass catcher, in my opinion.
I disagree.
I think that CMC is well. I mean, I don't think anybody disagrees. I think he's one of the best, if not the best.
Yeah, I've even said Christian McCaffrey was the best running back. I've even said that. But I'm not about to sit here and act like that Antonio Gibson can't usurp him, because he could.
I guess technically anything's possible, but I would say that the likelihood of him surpassing CMC is like 5% or less.
I disagree. He has a higher chance.
I think it's pretty low. I think CMC. I don't know if he'll ever hit CMC prime. I hope he does, but I mean, 1,000 and 1,000 is what he has to get.
He doesn't have to do that.
I mean, CMC did. So if he's going to be
he did
better,
because he ran all. They didn't have any weapons. He didn't have another choice. He was their only option. He didn't have no Terry McLaurin on his team.
Well, hold on. You can't play both. Where it's like, okay, Cam Newton helped CMC because he's another weapon, but then now you're saying that more weapons
I'm saying help in a running game. In a running game.
Yeah, but it obviously hurts his production because he's taking he's taking carries. Like it's hurting the production, the level of production.
But if you opening up the game for Christian McCaffrey, Antonio Gibson doesn't have anybody.
Yeah, that improves his efficiency, but it doesn't improve the production.
It does improve the production.
No, because if you're not getting used as much, your production's going to go down, but it can improve your efficiency.
He's getting used a ton. The man got what? You said
but he's not going to reach. He's not going to reach CMC's production because CMC's a freak.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, you're saying that he can never do that. I'm saying he could if he wanted to.
I'm saying the likelihood is 5%.
He won't do 1,000 and 1,000 because we have too many freaking weapons on the team. So of course not. But if he wanted to, he could easily, and it wouldn't be hard at all for him. It really wouldn't. If he wanted to, he could. That's what I'm saying.
I think it's 5% chance that he does. 5%. There are 10 other receivers in the NFL who can do the same thing at unknownism, and this is coming from a huge.
No, they can't. No, they can't. DMV. No, they can't. So just stop. Just stop. No, they can't. No, they can't. I played receiver. No, they can't.
Dude, I think Terry could be a top 5 receiver. I don't have him as a top 5 receiver yet, but I think that after this year he could be, and because of the numbers he's putting up with the dysfunction of an offense that he's had is the comparable to the likes of DeAndre Hopkins when he was absolutely just trash quarterbacks throwing him all over the place. All right, so what he's able to do now with the crap that he has around him is pretty impressive, and I think it's only going to go up. And I think Ryan Fitzpatrick is actually going to help his production a lot because he's going to feed him. He's going to feed him. All right. There's going to be times, I've said this before, I'm going to say it again right now. In the past, we were like, man, as Skins fans, man, why can't we throw it downfield? Why can't we launch it? Like, where's the big plays? This year is the first year in a long time where Skins fans are going like, why can't we just take what the defense gives us? Why can't we just check it down a few times? Why can't we just take it easy?
It's not that, bro.
Why do we have to go deep all the time? Like, why can't we just do it around?
They're not being smart about it. That's the thing. We got the talent, man.
Well, that's Ryan Fitzpatrick for you.
Better than D-Hop. I think D-Hop's the best receiver in the league, and I don't think it's close.
Right now,
But my thing is, I would take Terry over any receiver in the league. Yes, I would.
Oh, maybe that's what he means. What up, DRG? I don't know. I like Devontae Adams right now. I think Devontae Adams is through the roof good right now. Obviously, I know that Aaron Rodgers is throwing to him, but I still think he is probably the best receiver.
But that's my point. And that's the only point that I'd be trying to make. How many receivers can do what Terry do? Could other than D-Hop, he had like 20 different quarterbacks.
I think Devontae Adams could do it.
Okay. He only had 2,000-yard seasons. And once he leaves Aaron Rodgers, which they will split up, I believe probably
Well,
after.
that's due to injury, right?
No,
Not
I don't
necessarily
think so.
because.
If you want to say injury, then I mean, then how could he? How could he be that reliable? If you want to say that,
Well, I never said he was necessarily more reliable, but let's see.
no, I'm not saying more reliable. I'm saying like I would love to see him get double teamed, coverage roll his way, and you not have a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers that can help you get open. I would like to see you with somebody with the likes of a Colt McCoy, of a Case Keenum, of a Dwayne Haskins, and you still drop 1,000 yards. I would like to see that. I really would. And you're already crying about trying to leave. So as a complete receiver, if you want to go with character too, Terry would be my guy.
Oh yeah, yeah, top notch character, Terry McLaurin. I love him for that for sure. All right, I'm going back here. All right, so without Aaron Rodgers in 2017, he didn't get 1,000 yards. He only played 14 games, but he did have 10 touchdowns. So without Aaron Rodgers, he didn't get over 1,000. Where Terry only had 4 last year and 7 the year before.
Machine. I'm not gonna. I never say he wasn't a touchdown machine. I just say he just didn't go over. He only went over 1,000 yards twice in his career. That's all
Yeah,
I
well,
said.
4 out of the last 5 years though he's had over double-digit touchdowns, which is nice.
Yeah, it's nice, especially when we got Aaron Rodgers.
Well, I'm saying even without Aaron Rodgers, he went double-digit touchdowns.
What you mean without him?
Because in 2017, Aaron Rodgers got hurt.
Who was the quarterback? Matt Flynn?
No, because Matt Flynn left right after that game. Wasn't like Brett Hundley or something?
Then I know for a fact he didn't get no 10 touchdowns with him. It had to be Matt Flynn.
In 2017, he had 885 yards and 10 touchdowns in 14 games.
No. Go ahead. No, because I'm looking at Naughty's joint, and my thing is, if you want to say somebody's a better receiver because of the body of work, I will not argue with you. I'm going based off a season-to-season basis. That's what I go based off of. If you want to say a body of work, I'm not complaining. Even if you want to say a body of work, Terry's still top 10. But I just don't count numbers. I also count the skill set and the abilities also. And how much do you mean to your team? And how much wins do you account for your team? That's what I put into. And I also got to look at the quarterback. I look at a lot of stuff when I go to rate my receivers because I played receiver. I harshly critique you. And I just believe that Terry he does everything every other receiver does in a worse situation and still produces. How many receivers you know that can do that other than D-Hop and Julio? That's just my point.
I mean, I think Devontae Adams could do it as well, but obviously we can't speak in a hype, what do you call it, a counterfactual in that sense. I think Devontae's amazing altogether. But anyway, I mean, I love Terry, and we'll see how things progress. But yeah, I think he could be Antonio Brown without the crazy. And I'm just tempering my projections right now as far as like not my projections. I think he will be, but where I believe he is right now, I'm okay with. I guess what it is I kind of like being that the unknown. I kind of like being that underdog. So I'm kind of just like, you know what, everybody, just say Terry is a maybe top 20 receiver right now. Just say that. It's fine, and we'll see how it goes after this year.
Like I say, the way I grade receivers, what makes me mad is when he's not a top 15. Bro, the receivers that y'all have in y'all top 10, some of them don't even belong. Like, and it makes me mad. It makes me mad. But they'll look at the numbers, and I'm saying, okay, if you want to go off numbers, he belongs. But if you're going off a skill set and everything else, he does not belong at all. And that's what I do.
Yeah, but I mean, I think you're a little harsh on like some guys like Mike Evans. I think Mike Evans should be still in that consideration just because he's at what he's good at. He's so good at. I mean, it's just he's 6'5". I don't remember. Did you?
I don't even know. I don't think I did.
You may not have. I think you hate on him. Is my point. I think you hate on Mike Evans a little hard.
I just think that he's not. He just does what he's not as good as other receivers. He's good as what he's good at what he's good at.
Yeah, and what he's good at it, he's elite at it, and it's like the top notch of what
But
he's doing it.
okay, that's cool, but I cannot. If
And I
you can
think
do
that
that,
eliteness is so elite that I think it deserves to be at least in the top 10. I think he's that good.
I can't get. If you only do one thing elite, I'm not about all these other guys doing multiple things elite. Boy, how can I put you over them?
All right,
Now,
so is Randy Moss not
Randy Moss could run
number
an
2 all
entire
time?
route tree. Do not do that.
All he did was run
But-
deep and run slant routes and run screens. That's all he did.
He
Because he's
was a
elite at
monster.
it.
Randy Moss was a monster.
I agree.
Are you literally comparing Randy Moss
Of
to
course
to
not.
Mike Evans?
Of course not. My
I'm
point
about
is,
to say.
of course not. I don't think Mike Evans is Randy Moss. He's not as fast.
But
No,
Mike
he's not
Evans
the
is
guy.
he's a good
But
receiver.
my point is that Randy Moss is number 2, and he only did a select few things, and it's because he's number 2 because what he did in those select few things were the best of the best, and he was so elite at it, so good at it, that he is the number 2 receiver of all time.
So Mike Evans be 10, dead last.
I don't know if he's 10 or not, but I'm just saying that.
Well, that's what he had.
I think Mike Evans is legit, and I think you hate on him a little hard. But I think you also hate on guys like Chris Godwin too hard, too. So we'll see.
Yeah, he's definitely not top 10.
Mike Evans has never had a less than 1,000 yards in a season, and like the amount of double-digit touchdowns he's had in a season is through the
I
roof.
don't. How many times I gotta say I don't care about the number? I don't look at the numbers.
But my thing is that if he only does one thing and you can't stop it, I think you're still could belong in the top 10. To be
how many receivers would you take before you get to Mike Evans?
I don't know. I'd have to think about it.
You would take a ton of receivers before you get to Mike Evans.
All right, these DMV Sports Zone's listed some. Okay, Adams, Hopkins, Tyreek Hill,
No.
Robinson. I take Diggs over him. I don't think I'm taking A.J. Brown over Mike Evans yet. Did you see what he did when he was injured
better
last
than
year?
Terry McLaurin. This boy
And
needs to be tested.
Julio. Julio, obviously, in his prime, Julio is incredible. I don't know if I can. I don't know. I think this spot for Julio is actually okay.
You said Mike Evans is better than Terry. Let me ask you a question, Nadi. If we traded Terry McLaurin for Mike Evans right now, did we get better or worse?
Actually, probably better. Because, as you said, we don't have a big body guy, so he brings something to our offense that we don't have.
A receiver that can run routes.
I mean, Curtis Samuel.
Outside of Diami.
Oh, well, Diami and Curtis could replace the Terry role, and then we actually have a dude that could go up and get it.
You have lost your mind.
I'm just saying. You asked the question.
Literally lost your mind.
You asked the question in a way that I had to pick Mike Evans. I'm not trading Terry McLaurin for Mike Evans.
Boy.
I'm not doing that. But you asked the question in a way that actually, technically speaking, may improve our offense.
If we had Mike Evans?
What's that?
It would be easy to stop our offense if we had Mike Evans. It's easy. We already know what he's doing. We already know.
How well did offense? How well did that defense stop Tampa Bay offense last year?
Curtis is a gadget guy. We know Curtis is gonna be the gadget. Diami, we don't know what he is.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay.
I'm not trading Terry for Mike Evans. I'm not doing that. But you asked the question: would we be better? This offense be better with a Mike Evans or Terry?
Okay,
and I said I think it actually might be better because of what he brings that we don't have.
Which team won the trade?
What's that?
Which team won the trade?
Which team won the trade?
Yeah.
Tampa Bay.
Okay, then. That's just my point.
Oh, well, you didn't ask the question in that way.
Well, they clearly won it. Clear.
Okay, but you didn't ask the question in that way is my only point. How about Allen Robinson? Allen Robinson did have some trash people throwing to him.
Rob was like that, though. But he's not better than Terry, not in my eyes.
Allen Robinson, I would give over Terry right now. He's been doing it longer. That's fine.
If you want to say body of work, I'm completely fine with that.
Well, that's what DMV is going off of, clearly.
Well, that's fine. But if you want to go off skill set, Terry's top 3.
Pure skill set. I don't know what's interesting. I have to think about that more. But I know that Terry's through the roof. It's awesome. I love Terry.
Chris Godwin is better than Terry. And what's that dude? Little Jordan from the Saints is better than Debo Samuels.
Terry is definitely better than Chris Godwin. I mean, on every metric. I like Chris Godwin. He hates Chris Godwin. I like Chris Godwin.
I
But
don't hate the guy.
I mean, okay. I mean, semantics here. But anyway, this guy never had a QB. Mitch Trubisky throwing on the ball. Blake Bortles. Yeah, I mean, A-Rob's up there. I love A-Rob.
That A-Rob's a beast. He ain't Terry. I just
Um,
think y'all keep selling Terry short, and it makes me so mad. And that's what makes me angry because he don't get the respect he deserves now. Like, you put freaking Cole Beasley and Corey Davis on the top 100.
I hate that. I hate that. I hate that Cole Beasley. Terry McLaurin's not going to be on this list, but Cole Beasley's going to be on this list. That's insane.
And
Cole
then
Beasley is not a top 100 fantasy pick. You wouldn't even take him in the top 100 picks of fantasy football, let alone top 100 players in the league. I mean, that's just insane. Terry's
Cole
absolutely
Beasley.
amazing. We've all seen tape. Terry's skill set is top 3. I mean, his skill set is through the roof. I love Terry. I do love Terry. I mean, what Terry did to a guy like Stephon Gilmore, Defensive Player of the Year, was through the roof. And in his rookie year was incredible. Was top notch. And I can't dispute that at all. I mean, I love Terry, and as I said, I think Terry can be number 1 in short order. 1 or 2 years, I think he could be number 1. I'm serious. I think he can be Antonio Brown, who at the top of his game was the number 1 receiver in the league. I think he could be Antonio Brown without the head case. I think he's that kind of a guy. He's a 4.35. He's 6 foot and he's 210 pounds, so he's not small. He gets nasty in the blocking game as well as a receiver. The dude can run every route in the route tree. The guy has incredible hands. I love Terry.
I didn't even mention blocking. And all the receivers that y'all like can't block. But yet, I see Tyreek Hill in y'all top 5, and it gets on my nerves. When a dude is bruh, you a body catcher. You a horrible route runner. Don't get me started with that. I'm not gonna say I've never seen nobody. He can't run into our route tree. He's a body catcher. He is the most explosive receiver in the NFL. That's what he is. He's not a top 5 receiver. No, at all. He does not have a skill set. I'm sorry. Tyreek Hill is not a top 5. It just gets on my nerves. Put Tyreek Hill on the Bears with Andy Dalton. Let me see what he do.
Obviously, his numbers would go down, but I think that Tyreek is still. I don't care where you put him. I think he still will go off. I really do. I think he would go off in Andy Dalton.
Are you Tim?
He literally got Alex Smith check down Charlie throwing it downfield. That's how open he could get.
Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is a system receiver. He is a product of Andy Reid, the greatest play calling, the greatest head coach that ever call a play is Andy Reid. Schemes you open. Mm-hmm. What do you expect? I expect you to have those numbers because you got and
well, look at Sammy Watkins. What numbers did he produce? Look at McCole Hartman. What numbers did he produce?
McCole Hartman is horrible.
Look at all these other receivers. There's a lot of receivers over there. Robinson, Chris Conley.
Horrible.
What are all these guys? Well, what do you expect? They were schemed open by Andy Reid.
Yeah,
what is going on? And they're trash.
He was just faster.
Yo,
he's explosive. That's the difference.
DMV's asked to join. I'm actually we're gonna get off soon, but we'll have you on the show one day. Honestly, next week if you wanted to. We can bring you on next week and talk some skins and talk some other stuff. But right now, it's already. I was planning on only doing this for a little over an hour. All right, last question. I gotta get going. What's up?
Okay, name one thing that Tyreek Hill does better than Terry.
Speed.
Anything else?
Anything else in particular? Probably not.
How?
But the point is, though, is that explosion, it's kind of like the Mike Evans effect. That explosion is so top-notch
What is
that puts you
different?
up there.
But Mike Evans, you can't scheme Mike Evans open. You throw the ball, he goes up and get it. Like he was double. This dude Tyreek Hill is literally wide open, or he gets the ball in the open. He gets the ball in the open area. He takes it. He takes off. That's
awesome.
That's more so of the head coach than a receiver.
This is an interesting look. Tyreek is better at what he does than anything Terry does.
We can get off stream now.
All right. Yeah, well, and we'll work that out, DMV.
Nadi, you need help. You know what? You need help. You need help.
All right, we'll talk about this next week. We'll get you on the next. If you want to, we can bring you on as a guest next week. It'll be fun. We were supposed to have Rio Robinson tonight, but he apparently got tied up with some family stuff. So
a guy who's a system receiver.
We'll have to figure out. But yeah, we actually have me and Chris were talking about it today. Maybe bringing on more guests. Maybe for the first half hour or something like that, we can have a conversation, or maybe the first hour, and then me and Chris can talk more after that or something. I'm not sure exactly how we'll make it work, but it should be fun.
Tyreek Hill, the same. Before we go, the same guy who dropped the pass through that touched him right in his hands, hit him in his face mask in the Super Bowl. The same guy who got locked up the whole game, couldn't run no routes. That same guy that a rookie put up a deuce in his face. That same Tyreek Hill. Okay, give me off the screen.
Tyreek production greater than Terry skills. I don't know.
Got locked up by Carlton Davis and Jamal Dean. Get me off this daggone thing. Please.
All right, guys. It was a lot of fun. Thank you for episode number 29. It was a lot of fun. We'll work out that DMV. It was fun. And any last words there, Chris? Never mind. I don't want to get you started again. We'll see you next week, or I'm sure we'll see you. Well, actually, we'll see you Friday for the game play-by-play on this channel. Let's have some fun. Oh, go subscribe to DMV Sports Zone. Sorry, I almost forgot to say that. Thank you for stopping by. It was a lot of fun chatting with you. Go subscribe. He's almost hitting 1,000. Are you hitting 1,000 yet? I don't know. You've been doing a lot of big things. You're dang near there. Congratulations on that if you have. If not, I'm hoping you're there soon. But yes, and until next time. See ya!
That boy has lost his